Did you know you were going to have to be naked in the Palm Springs episode before you did it?
It was so exciting. Yeah, Michael said, the cameras come in and we see your ass. Would you be okay with that? And I said, oh, yeah. So there was some waxing involved. I said, it's too white. And so I was like, no, I have to go to the tanning things. I was there a little too long. So I show up on the day, and we're getting to makeup. Said to her, I have something to show you. She was like, what? Started to pull down my pants, and she said, Damian, what did you do?
Hello. It's Kevin and Fallon here with the very special episode of Obsessed the Podcast. It is another edition of our The Comeback Rewatch. And I'm here with my co-host, Dan Bucatinsky.
Hello.
Hi, Dan.
So happy to be doing this with you. For our super fan to host Obsessed and let us do this rewatch of season 1 and season 2. As somebody who obviously has been involved with the show since we started 21 years ago, very honored to be doing this with you and excited about who we get to talk to.
Yeah, so we have the producer and star of the show taking us behind the scenes for all the juice that fans like me will want to love. And we have me, just a super fan of the show. I love it. I watch it every year. I cannot wait for season 3, and I can't wait for you guys to hear the conversations we're going to have about season 1 and season 2. And we have a very special guest with us right now in New York. It is Damian Young, who plays Mark Berman on the show, Valerie's husband.
Mark Berman, a.k.a. Marky Mark.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mark.
People who recognize me from the show. Marky Mark!
I like when she calls you Love Ball.
Love ball, sometimes I get that.
Yeah.
Like if I'm strolling in Chelsea, I might get a love ball.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's kind of good.
Yeah.
And Damian, like Dan, you have the rare privilege of starring in a series, playing the same character once every 10 years.
Yes. Look how time has destroyed what God gave us.
Yeah, it really is a time capsule in a way that we never really expected.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's like the coolest showbiz story ever. Like every decade, you get this masterpiece comedy that is also commenting on what's happening in show business at the same time.
Yes. That took me a while to understand. Like, oh, this is more than just about somebody in showbiz and they're sort of stumbling and fumbling and climbing back up and falling back down. It's about the whole where we are. Yeah. That really, in season 3, really, really got addressed. So, yeah.
I mean, we talked about this in the previous episode of the podcast, but the happy accident of allowing the show to not just be about this one woman, this one artist who is trying to sort of extend her 15 minutes to 15 years or beyond, but also how she bumps up against these unbelievable challenges that happen in our industry.
Yeah.
But you get the unique job of getting to sort of talk about a marriage, a relationship, which I think is so exciting. It's
over 3 decades. Like, no one on TV gets to show a relationship that has evolved and developed and been challenged over 3 different decades of that life.
Yeah. It took me a while, and like in the first season, to understand, I'm not just like, whatever, Val, whatever that this is really part of it is about how she and we negotiate her life in this world that she's so desperate to continue to be part of, and me not quite really understanding, but being completely supportive of. So, I mean, hopefully I act as a sort of a grounding wire for, the electricity that sometimes goes bzzz.
I always loved how, even though you were exasperated, very understandably, by the reality TV cameras, you still sort of, like, you treated Jane as a human. Like, you can tell that you liked these people. It was just a burden on your life.
Yeah, I mean, this is like a lot of things that I learned as an actor doing this show is one of them was you can't sustain scorn, resentment, anger, annoyance. It's just unsustainable.
I can in life, especially in a marriage.
You're gifted, Dan.
Yeah.
There has to be a reason why these people are together.
Yeah.
And I think she's as exasperating and as sort of clawing as she is. She's a delight. She's just a delight to be around. And my life is enriched by being with her. And I think it was probably a great idea that I didn't have anything to do with showbiz.
Yeah.
I was my own person with my own money, with my own life.
And she's a second wife.
Yeah, and the second wife.
It's also very genius of the show, I think, and of Michael Patrick King and Lisa's performance to have her be so in love with you.
Yeah.
Like, there is a version of a Valerie Cherish that is so just focused on her career and so just like tunnel vision on the fame part of it that she could have been such a monster to not even acknowledge her husband. But you do see constantly how much she's thinking about Mark.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I mean, I think in both seasons, it's like how we get to a point where this is threatening my marriage, or maybe threatening is extreme, but this is not good for my relationship. And then she has to come back to that and address that rather than, leave me alone, Mark. Don't you understand? Or whatever.
Right.
So I think that's crucial to keep all the threads of the storylines going. And it just adds to her complications. Is like, I have to maintain this marriage. I love this man. So the more complications that she has, I think in both seasons, the more room there is for growth, or more room there is for comedy. And so I felt very much a part of that.
You really do believe that they love each other. You really, really do, despite the fact, and people have said to me in the past, like, there's such a performative quality to Valerie with Mark that when the cameras are rolling, she really wants to be the supportive wife. Mm-hmm. Does that mean she is the supportive wife? And I mean, the answer is yes, because there's a lot of examples of it. There's examples of her protecting Mark from the cameras. There's a lot of examples of her commenting on her own love and support of Love Ball. Some of it is performative, but it couldn't sustain itself if it was just performative. And that's why I think in season 2, when it starts to really get to Mark, more than it does in 1. Because in 1, he's annoyed by all the too.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, this was why I thought the ending of the second season was absolutely perfect, because even when I read the last episode of the second season, I did not know that, even reading it, I did not know that the reality cameras went away, that we went to like a more cinematic form of storytelling, such that now we saw her without the cameras. And so we see at the very end Mark and Val together without being watched.
Yeah.
And it's lovely. It's
really touching.
Yeah, and we see here with Mickey and the three of us together, and so if that confirms sort of what we had together, the cameras aren't there, and we're behaving as we would in the wild.
That's right.
God, I thought that was a perfect. I don't know how Michael figured that one out.
So perfect. I remember watching it for the first time, and like, without me even knowing, just like tears started welling up in my eyes because of how beautiful that transition was to the sort of steady cam, her being so concerned about the people that she loves in her life and realizing what actually matters. And then seeing Mark come to the hospital too.
Yeah.
It's just a beautiful encapsulation of who Valerie was, what the story actually was about. Maybe it wasn't always about the fame part of it, but about finding happiness in all parts of her life at the same time.
Yeah, and that has to be, starting from the very beginning. There has to be something underneath other than gimme, gimme, gimme. I think that's a tribute to her performance, is that I always so much admire this about her, which is like, she's so right on the edge of caricature. Mm-hmm. And she never, ever goes over. It never goes into cartoon land. It's always grounded, but she's able to push that right to the very edge. And and every time I watch the show, or even working with her, I'm like, how do you do that? I could go on and on about her, but
does she have an answer?
I don't know. There's something about also maintaining a leading role, carrying a show like that.
Yeah.
With being a character that you would probably see as like a one-off or a two-off in a comedy, like, oh, that crazy lady. So she created a character very unlike her.
Very unlike her.
and then had to maintain, like, I have to be grounded enough so that the story is sustained by my behavior. Because if it goes too far out into La La Land or caricature land, then we lose the audience. So, and I think part of that is the relationship she has with her husband. It has to be grounded.
It's the most grounded part of the show. It's her desire to be in show business, her desire to get seen, her desire to keep working, her desire to be liked by writers, to be liked by showrunners, to be liked by her co-stars. That is a driving force for Valerie Cherish, always, always, always. But then there's Mark.
Yeah.
And it just brings her home. And in season 1, there's a lot of, we meet your daughter. And and we see
I
her.
forgot about that.
I love the friend who doesn't eat. So like you have to make sure that she's inviting a friend that eats so that she'll eat.
Willa.
Yeah.
I think that's her name, right?
Francesca's her best friend Willa doesn't eat, so she's not eating.
Right.
And Valerie makes it a point of, helping to at least bring up the fact that she's not eating, and your ex-wife needs to know that she's
But even the fact that she knows that as a stepmom, I think speaks volumes about the Valerie character, that it isn't as superficial as it could come across as.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that episode where she's staying home because she thinks the whole cast is boycotting the show, and she's the only one who has stayed home. Classic Valerie. And they're all around the pool, and her 14-year-old stepdaughter is smoking cigarettes and flipping through her.
Wait, doesn't it turn out that one of the kids is like the son of a celebrity, and she's like, wait, I didn't.
At the end, that's the final moment of the episode, is that the kid's name is something like oh shoot, I can't remember. What's the actor?
It might be Hanks. No,
it wasn't Hanks. It wasn't Hanks. Who's the? I'm literally, this is a senior moment happening to me. Who's the actor who was in Dances with Wolves?
Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner. I think the kid's name is Kevin Costner, and she's like, wait, the Kevin Costner? It's something like that.
Oh shit.
Where she's chasing him, and
yeah,
I think it's that.
I forgot about that.
If not, it's someone like that.
Please. Desperation. Wow.
There is some of that.
I've never felt that in my life in showbiz. Ever.
Liar.
Well, one of the reasons we're doing this, one of the great things about the comeback is that you can watch both seasons that are already out on HBO Max right now. There is a comedy treasure trove waiting for you to watch if you've never watched a show before. And we're going to talk through some of the highlights for you from the series. I think one of the first things we want to talk about is one of my favorite episodes when you and Valerie go to Palm Springs.
Yeah, that was sort of in the middle of the season, I guess.
It was halfway.
But just let me go back. Me doing this show, I mean, I'd had a fair amount of experience in film and television, but mostly I was doing theater, and most of my early years in New York had been like downtown, fucked up, experimental, late night disasters. So, and I say that lovingly.
Yes,
so I remember auditioning for the show. I think I auditioned for the one of the showrunners of the sitcom, and then they had me come in for Mark, and then I was lucky enough to get that part. And so, but I remember reading it. I was like, "Oh, this is reality cameras." Like we don't. It took me a while to realize, oh, there's nobody watching except for what is, and there's no cutting. It all has to be sort of one take. And I thought to myself, oh, so I can't really do any acting. And then it occurred to me as like, wait, shouldn't I have been thinking that way all along?
Yes.
Shouldn't I have understood that by now, age 38 or whatever I was? So, it took me a while to get into that groove. It's like I am just behaving. I'm not creating buttons. I'm not emphasizing dialogue for story.
No winking at the camera.
Yeah, there's not. I can take in the camera, but there's no amplifying for an audience.
No, we called the production company raw footage. Because the idea, the concept of the comeback from day one was that this is the raw footage in an editing room before, like, unedited. And of course, pretty soon we realized, well, we can't really not edit it because it really will just be endless takes. But how does that change? You're answering that now. It's like how that changes the approach to how I will be seen in this, because I'm just behaving, and it's being captured.
Yeah, I mean, we all love it when we, the oneer in the
Studio.
studio, that episode, or when we see something like the opening sequence in The Revenant, or
Children of Men had one too.
Children of Men, or Adolescence. It's like it's a cinematic feat. It really is.
Yes.
And so part of what this is every scene was shot as a one. Now there were multiple cameras, reality cameras. So, but in other words, we didn't like do a scene and then break everything down and get a 2-shot, and then break everything down and then get a close up and then turn everything around.
No, it was choreographed, including the camera people. So
Right.
our camera people were all on camera.
Right. So everybody was a character, including the camera and the camera operators. So what that does is, for me anyway, as an actor, which was like, I'm not planning on coverage. I'm not planning on close-ups or 2-shots in terms of my vision of what the show or what the scene is going to look at. Mm-hmm. It's going to look like what we're doing. So it was very much like a play.
Yeah.
We'll take a scene, we'd set it up, we'd rehearse a lot because we had to get all the camera movements together. And then we'd do it 8-9 times, and then kind of that was it, because that's it. You only get that. And so that gave me an opportunity to really relax into something that the entirety of a performance would be in that one take or that one shot. And then Michael or whoever would choose the one that worked best. So
Palm Springs was very unique because I don't think in any episode really, I can't remember in seasons 1 or 2, where we departed the world of the show, the house or the stage or the set, in the way that one does. It's a true departure. And cameras were on the outside of the car, shooting the actual car, and inside the car.
Yeah, and so, I don't know, when we all got away, because we all went there and we drove there, and we shot us driving there.
Yep.
And that's when I really felt part of the family of the show. I really felt like, oh, I belong here. I'm not just like a guest or that I have an arc, that there's something happening to me, which is sort of rare for the journeyman actor.
Yeah.
That's
so interesting too that you actually, because I think most people know how TV works, and when you're driving somewhere, you're like on a soundstage, or you're just driving this like one little street that's meant to sub for something else. But you and Lisa were actually driving to Palm Springs like Valerie and Mark were.
Yeah, exactly.
So
and then
cool.
I forget the actor's name, but we had the representative from, I think, the Lincoln
Navigator.
In the back of the car. He would just pop up and be like, can you say Lincoln Navigator?
That was great.
So it's a smooth
How was
drive.
the sound system in the Lincoln Navigator, something like that.
And I think, Michael Lehman
Directed it.
Yeah, and that was Linda Wallum
Wrote it.
Wrote
We
it.
were all there, though. We were all there.
We were all there. So a lot of things gelled for me there. It's like whatever Val's idea about glamour of Hollywood sort of crumbles there. She starts to feel her age there.
Yes.
I remember there's some shot of me coming out of the room to go to just sit at the pool or something, and Michael
in all of your bathing suit.
Yeah, and Michael was like, no. He looks too together. Like I just had a bathing suit and like a polo or something, and he was like, no, he needs hat. He needs the stuff on his nose.
Yeah.
Just make him just worse.
Yeah. Look less good.
Yeah, and so that sort of gelled for me. It's like it was just too late for her. This is like she had it and then she lost it. Now she has it back, but it's over. When she asks for the salad.
Salad with the poached chicken and pear.
Angie Dickinson. And then she realizes as she's saying Angie Dickinson,
The guy is like, what?
it's over.
I am going to have the tiger shrimp tempura with the ponzu dipping sauce.
And I'm going to have the salad with the poached chicken and pear, please.
Is that on the menu?
Oh, sure, yeah, no, I get it all the time. Yeah, it's called the Angie Dickinson.
The who?
Yeah. I'll just have a salad then.
But you know what? The thing we were talking about before about the performative nature of wanting, they had just shut down, the writers had just shut down on Room and Board to retool, which used to happen all the time on TV shows. And she took a little bit of a hit because there was going to be a whole episode about Valerie and it went away.
Yeah.
And so she was going to go on a weekend away with her husband. And in her mind, the cameras were going to come and get to sort of see how this star relaxes with her husband. Like the narrative of it was meaningful to Valerie. In a bigger way than, say, what was also happening, which is that she wanted to sort of recover from the hit that was the episode that was going to be the Valerie episode of Room and Board was going to be retooled. What happens in that entire episode of Palm Springs is this tension between the performative, look at us, look at me and my husband playing golf, and the realities of what's really happening, and what she's ultimately faced with. She's not being invited to Pauly G's party, and how supportive Mark is in that moment. There's the most touching moment where she just gets off the phone with Junia and she's at dinner with her friends and she's drinking up a storm and Lisa just has this unbelievable look on her face. She does it with just a look, and you underneath the table just grabbed her hand. It's so touching.
Oh.
Those are the moments
where
we know it is real and lovely, and it's so powerful.
Yeah. To this day, whenever my real life wife and I go somewhere, we joke about like we have to wake up at 6 so we can get the kid chairs,
the pool chairs.
For the one girl with her 5 friends that she shared, or she saved those pool chairs for.
Yeah. That's everybody's problem, isn't it?
I'm sorry. Hi. I'm wondering, are all these chairs taken?
Yeah, my boyfriend and my friends.
So you're saving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chairs then?
Sorry, we got up real early to get these chairs.
Yeah.
What is all this?
Oh, right. We're filming a reality show. They actually wanted to get a shot of me. We were hoping to on one of these pool chairs,
Did you know you were going to have to be naked in the Palm Springs episode before you did it?
It was so exciting. Michael said, how about the cameras come in and we see your ass. Would you be okay with that? And I said, oh, yeah. So then I was like, this isn't good enough to look at. So I had some things to do, and so there was some waxing involved. And then there was the I decided it's too white. So I went.
There's waxing and tanning involved.
So I went to it. I'd never done either in my life. And so I was like, no, I have to go to the tanning thing. So I went to the tanning thing, and it's just I was there a little too long. So I show up on the day.
Oh my gosh!
And we're getting to makeup for this
ass shot.
Yeah, there was also a scene involved.
Yes,
to me it was just an ass.
That's all it was about. Yeah.
And so I forget the lovely makeup artist's name, but I said to her, I have something to show you. And she was like, what? So I sort of started to pull down my pants, and she said, Damian, what did you do? And because it was just so bright red. And so anyway.
Oh my God, I'm so glad I asked this question.
Tanning gone wrong?
Yeah. So they took care of me. And so it doesn't look like I'd been in a fire or something. And anyway, but that was great. It was like, and then I think Laura didn't know when she was coming in that she'd see like ass. And so that first take was good. And I don't think Lisa knew anyway either, because we were about to shoot and I was like, well, I'm naked under here. And she went, oh, well, that makes sense. So
yeah, and she played it so well because she took a sleeping pill, and so you both overslept the getting of the chairs.
The chairs.
Yes.
I think I hear something.
Jane, what time is it?
It's 10:30.
What? Oh, what?
It's 10:30.
No, Mark, we slept in. What? We slept in. Can I see? Are there chairs at the pool? There are no chairs at the pool. There are no chairs left at the pool, Mark. That's it. There are no chairs. The whole day is ruined. All right. I don't know. We're screwed. The day is ruined. doing?
But you know, the only 3 people have been naked on the comeback, and you should be proud. It's in my contract that I have to keep my clothes on. Billy never gets naked. Mickey gets naked in season 2.
Oh, that's right.
Mark gets naked in season 2, and Juna is naked in right from the start.
Isn't Billy's hookup also naked in that scene?
Mickey's hookup is completely naked. You're right. More than 3 characters are naked.
Yeah.
Mickey's
Okay.
hookup.
All right.
Another reason to watch season 2. Spoiler alert.
But I like the Palm Springs episode because there's at the very end. And this goes back to what I was talking about, is like I started to understand the power of the cinematic form or the television or, the non-theater, which was like, it's not reliant on dialogue to really move story or describe relationships, that it's behavioral. It's a visual medium. And so there's just something about the end of the episode. And I think it's like when credits are rolling, there's just something about the 2 of us together. And the other thing is like I am actually driving. So as an actor, like I'm negotiating like actually doing something, which really always, give an actor a prop and they feel at home, So I'm actually focused on something. Let's not crash. And then there's all this other stuff happening to me. And then I can just allow myself to behave. And it's such a liberating experience for an actor to be able to have that opportunity just to do that. And I was kind of surprised at the end of that, that this is possible. I felt like I entered the world of cinematic storytelling, which is like you just allow behavior to happen. And so that was just a lovely moment for me.
Well, that ending is incredible anyway, because Valerie has just been unbelievably revealing. She takes a huge hit. She gets very drunk. She has a very sort of upsetting phone call by the pool chairs in her drunken state. Mark comes out to get her, which is lovely. And the next time you see them, she's hungover with her sunglasses in the car. She has no patience for the Lincoln Navigator guy. She doesn't care that the song is going to cost her $20,000 because she pops the music in. And you're exactly right. The 2 of you are just in the car driving, and Valerie reaches over, and while you're driving, she's just playing with your hair and your ear. And again, it's one of those moments where just the behavior of this married couple is not performative at all. It really speaks to what they have together.
Yeah, it's lovely. I remember Linda, the writer of that, asked me, like, what kind of music do you think Mark listens to? And again, I didn't quite understand. Like, I thought, like, oh, what would be the dumbest, weirdest thing? So I was like, he only listens to Frank Zappa. She was like, well, really? And I was like, yeah, that's pretty much it. So anyway, they did not choose a Frank Zappa song.
No.
I could have had more in mind, like, oh, something that might help the episode, but no, instead. Anyway, that was funny.
And that was like one of the sweetest moments of their relationship on the show. But the other scene that we want to talk about is, I think, one of their lowest points. But one of the, also, like we keep talking about how real this relationship is. I think this scene that we're going to talk about really exhibits in every way how much history they have together, how much this camera crew has taken a toll on their lives, how the dissonance between the pursuit of fame and celebrity and the pursuit of just having a happy marriage together has really taken a toll on them. And that's a scene in the parking lot where they're waiting for a valet.
And see, this is season 2 now.
Season 2, right, yeah.
Where the paparazzi cameras are swarming them. They're having a fight because Mark thought that Valerie was coming to have dinner with him to reconcile over all the fights they've been having about the cameras, about her career. And it turns out that Jane is filming through the window.
Right.
Mark storms off. Valerie follows him. And they have this spectacular as TV fight in the parking lot, but a very painful one because of how real it is for a relationship.
Yeah. She's just been nominated for an Emmy, by the way. Her dream is coming true, except that she and Mark are not in a good space.
Yeah.
And she wears a wire to dinner. And that's what leads to you storming out and her following you into the parking lot.
No, see, Val, this is totally different from my affair or the abortion. I mean, your abortion was something that you... What are you doing?
I have an itch.
Are you wearing a wire?
I realize now that that was a mistake. You know, that was
Are you in the FBI now?
No.
I mean, what the fuck, right? Is this what we're doing here? Is this even real? Is there any part of you that is real anymore?
No, this is for our love story, okay? Jane made me. She talked me into...
Are they filming us?
Well, I wouldn't let
Are they filming us?
I wouldn't let the cameras in. I didn't bring the cameras in, Mark, out of respect to you.
You are wearing a fucking wire.
I remember that whole sequence, like in the restaurant and then out into the parking lot. And it's something that as an actor, I don't know, I hear the actors hear this all the time. It's like, it's not a fight until it's a fight. Because actors in general, I have found, when there's conflict in a script, want to get right to the fighting part because it feels good. It's just, your energy is flowing. It feels like I don't have to really think about anything except shouting, yelling, arguing, and pushing back. Mm-hmm. So I remember when we started the scene in the restaurant, I was all ready for that fight. And Michael directed this episode, I believe. Mm-hmm. And so he said, all right, let's just see what we have. And we started just doing the dialogue at the table, and he stopped. He was like, no, wait, cut on rehearsal. And he asked me, what are you doing? And I said, well, and I explained, he goes, you're not there yet. Mm. You're not fighting yet. You're there to try to make something good happen. It takes you a while to realize that she has betrayed you. And even then, it takes you a while to decide enough. So I love that bit of direction from him, which, I think if I'd been more savvy as an actor, I could probably understood that. Is like, and again, this goes to like the importance of the relationship in the show, which is I have to go in trying to make it work, confident that it's going to work, in order for then it to be torn down by learning that, oh, she's, even this intimate moment she's using for her, for the reality show. So
and she doesn't even realize what she's done by wearing the wire. When you're saying to her, well, you and I can get through a lot, and it was such a sweet thing. It was so well written because what your whole point was. We have withstood my affair. We have withstood your abortion. Even with your abortion, and the minute she hears that, she's like, "Oh my God!" And you're like, "Oh my God, are you wearing a wire?" And everybody's been pushed to their limit in that moment.
So I think what's great about that is it still simmers. It still doesn't explode. And it says, okay, now I have to get away. And then she comes and confronts, and it's still being, and then I think, as I recall, she comes out, and then, well, we don't see this because the cameras come around, and then, but it's only until I see the cameras come back around, oh, now they're still following her.
Yeah.
I'm still on TV. This isn't real. I have got to get away. And then the car doesn't show up. Mm-hmm. And then that just adds another complication to it. And I think that then gives license to finally the big blow up and the big fight. And I don't know, I like the way the scene worked also because it's, I learned something about comedy in a way that it can sustain something like this. Yeah. It's not necessarily like nothing really has to, edges don't have to be sanded off for humor. This is a standalone scene. It pushes the story along. We find out later, whatever, it gets funny again. But for now, this has to happen.
I hope you win your Emmy. Hope you win your big goddamn prize. Jane, I hope you win whatever the fuck you're trying to win. I hope all of this was worth something.
Wait, so what is this? I finally get something, but it's not about you, so what?
Oh, what'd you get, Valerie? What'd you get? You got an Emmy nomination. Big whoop.
Well, it is a big whoop, Mark. It is a big whoop. Just like your golf trophy was a big whoop. I made it a big whoop. Okay, put it on a shelf. Every time anyone came over, I said, oh, look at Mark's golf trophy. It wasn't easy to work it into conversation for months afterward. If someone would say, nice day, and I'd say, well, speaking of nice days, my husband Mark won a golf trophy. For 14 years, Mark, I was your cheerleader.
No, I was your cheerleader, Val. 10 years. Ever since you were obliterated by that fucking comeback disaster.
And I think the scene ends with me just, I think I say, like, I don't know who you are or who are you. And I don't know, I loved that. I loved, like, seeing, this happens in any long-term relationship where you see great things that you had never recognized before, but you also see awful things that you're like, I didn't know this about you to that extent.
Yeah.
I don't know who you are.
Are you still in there is what you say to her.
Are you still
in there?
Are you still in there? And one of the great things about a well-written scene, and this is true always, in an argument situation, whether you side with one person or another is not the point. The point is that both arguments make sense. You do understand why Mark is so pissed off. 100%. It's like, oh my God, can we have one thing that's just ours that is not being watched? And her point is well taken also. It's like, oh, really, Mark? I'm having a moment in my life, one great moment in my life, and it's not about you. And she's really harsh on him. She's like, little boy, for 1 minute, the little boy has to be about his wife and he can't take it. And she gets at him, and they really hurt each other.
Yeah.
And you end up feeling bad for Mark as he's been burned with this and betrayed by the wire and the cameras as he drives off. And then you see Valerie sitting in the parking lot, realize the cameras are surrounding her again.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So like, now what do I do?
Now what?
Do I still perform? Do I grieve? She's lost, and you feel bad for her. It's genius to have this fight where, like you said, you're rooting for both of them. You feel bad for both of them. Both of them are in the right. They're both in the wrong.
My God.
It's so genius.
It's so powerful, too, when he says, I was the only one who believed in you, and she's crestfallen. I mean, it's so emotional. I mean, and Valerie gets so upset. She's like, I believed in me. I believed in me.
I'm somebody.
The Academy believes in me. There are people who believe in me, Mark. And then she's like, please come to the Emmys. I don't know how I'll explain your absence. And that sentence is like, the worst thing you could possibly say. You don't want him there because you want him there. You want him there because you don't know how you'll explain his absence, which is part of the problem. And they're both sort of caught. It's so heartbreaking and real.
Sorry, little boy. You have to ride in the back seat now. Just this one time, though.
I hope you win. It's all you really care about.
That's not true, Mark. That's Mark. Wait, Mark. Wait, I just have to say. This is your Emmy ticket, okay? And I got your tux dry cleaned. So, please come. Please come. I don't know how to explain your absence.
Are you even in there anymore?
What does that mean?
Yeah, I didn't know if that scene was going to work because it got to, I don't know, it got nasty and, complicated, and
it was 1:30 in the morning.
It was late or whatever. And so, I'm glad that, how it came out, and I think it was great for the story, and it really the other stuff happened, but it really gives the last moment of the last episode a lot more sort of heft as a result.
That big finale where he comes back.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot happens in that episode, and Mickey and the naked guy. It's all in that episode, but she is grappling with so much at a time when she's trying to celebrate a victory.
Yeah, I guess that's, I don't understand the alchemy that writers, have to practice making something great. But the building and building and building, or the simmering pot, that then has to boil over at some point, and how that comes together.
You're so good, Damian. I just want to tell you that because I don't think did I tell you that enough when we were shooting season 3?
Not enough, no.
You are so good.
It could be more.
You're so good. What you do in season 3, I can't say what it is, but the journey you go on in season 3 is amazing, and you're great in it. And and you are in every season, but the grounding force of that marriage continues.
Yeah. Season 3 is great. I mean, I haven't seen any of it, so I don't really know what it is. But reading it, I loved it. And then it's about show business in a way that I wasn't I didn't expect. And it gets really into sort of where we are in television and entertainment in general.
But you and Valerie, in a marriage, have to weather a different kind of storm.
And then we have our own problem as a couple, and I have a problem as an individual where I need her.
Yeah. I was about to say, it was, as a fan, it was when the release came out that you were coming back to the show. It's like, phew. Like, it was refreshing. That
Imagine how I felt.
Valerie and Mark are still going to be together in some way.
You didn't know, but he could have been coming back
as the ex.
As the ex.
Yeah, but
in a new marriage.
I had hope.
Yes.
I had a hope that Valerie and Mark would survive those 10 years.
Well, Michael and Lisa called me up, and they're like, are you available and interested? And I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, whatever. Yeah. And then I said, well, are we still together?
Yeah.
I said, yes.
It's a good question after 10 years.
Yeah.
I thought maybe, I'd be like on the phone, like, I'm sending the alimony or something.
Right.
But anyway, so I was very thrilled that we got to do this again. And yeah, so much happened with us. And, I had my own sort of problems that I had to work out. And I think that's also of a time where we are. I'm married to an actor in real life, and we have our ups and downs, and sometimes one is up and the other is maybe a little bit down, and there's a lot of feelings about that, and negotiating how we navigate the world where we're not jealous, we're supportive, there's no pity, helping someone avoid self-pity and all of that. And I think a lot of that comes out in this season is when do you say to a partner, enough, you have to get up on your own 2 feet. Mm-hmm. When do you say, no, you take a break, it's okay, we'll So I think a lot of that comes up, and it's a mature relationship. We're the age we are. We've been together for how long we have. And again, in my own personal life, having been married for over 30 years, there's just a lot that I could bring to that kind of relationship, or a lot that I knew about that.
Yes.
So, hopefully that comes through.
I'm really excited to see, because you and Lisa have such a great, close, intimate chemistry that, like, you can tell how long they've been together by how just sort of like reflexive, like gestures, and the way they touch each other, the way they look at each other, the way that you look at Valerie when you walk into her room. And I'm very excited to see what that will then evolve into after another 10 years.
Yeah,
we've seen them together.
You'll see.
Yeah.
I can't wait for you to see it.
Yeah, I mean, there's something great about Lisa. Is like she has no guardedness, there's no kind of ego about protectiveness, or I have to look a certain way, or I have to be perceived a certain way. There's a complete openness to work, and she'll try anything, she'll do anything to make the scene work, and so there's a real freedom that comes with that. It's like I feel like I can be a husband to this other person and not worry about the actor.
Yeah,
that's rare. I've found, and so I think that's one of the main reasons why this relationship works, is this sort of guileless that she has.
And I'll say that and I'm going to speak for you, but I think you and I talked about this on set. It is as if time. It's as if there was no time at all in between. When we were back for season 2, it was so weird. It was like it had happened just 6 months earlier. And this time as well, we were all there on set together. Michael and you and me and Laura who plays Jane. And, we all have a little bit more gray hair, except for Valerie. But it was as if it had just happened. And there's a familiarity to it that I think helped.
Yeah, it's like a reunion of the high school drama club.
A little bit.
Yeah, and then instead of like sitting around eating sandwiches, we're like, while we're here, let's do a show.
Yeah. And we're not always in a lot of scenes together either. Like, I was lucky my first week of shooting.
Oh, yeah, that was
I got
great.
to do a lot with you. I had not really done before.
Yeah.
And, we're all sort of in different lanes in the show.
Yeah, I can't wait for people to say what has become of Billy.
Well, we have a few questions that we're going to ask everybody who stops by here. I don't have time to ask all of them, so I think what we'll do is I'll choose one that I want to ask, and then I'll have Dan choose one he wants to ask. But for me, I'm very curious. What is your favorite Valerie-ism? Like one of her quirks, the things that she does all the time. Do you have a favorite thing that Lisa does as Valerie Cherish?
Oh, the T sign.
The T sign?
Yeah.
I've been torturing our producer Rachel with doing this constantly.
I don't know. The fact that you think that nobody will see this, that this somehow will stop time.
Yeah.
Yep.
That this will save, that there's some international understanding. I'm sorry, that this means anything.
She's not wrong. When they're cutting it, she's cueing the editor that everything from this point forward should be cut, and it's so misguided.
She also does it as if she had seen someone professional do this before.
Correct.
Like
Right.
she had seen some director do this.
Yeah, I guess that's it. It's like this is how people do it.
Yeah.
So I love the T sign.
There's two here that I love, but the one I always like to ask anybody is that what has been a Valerie Cherish moment that has happened to you in your own life?
Oh well, we talked about having to run out and do the chairs whenever you go to like a hotel with a pool or something, to get there in the morning. Oh, but something sort of
something that I don't want to use the H word because I don't really think it's about humiliation per se, but it's sort of a moment of reality, being you as an actor, or
maybe being humbled.
You being thank you. That's a different H
different
word. You being humbled by the business.
So the choices are so vast.
Yes, that's what I said to Kevin. I was like, well, there's one a day.
Yeah. I don't know. It's I could go way back into like there's the should I call or should I not call, the how long between the audition and calling the agent if you haven't heard. So is it like 24 hours, 48 hours? I know some actors would this is in the old days, would go in for an audition, find a payphone and call their agent and ask, how'd it go? I have done that. So I don't know. I'm sure there's many more humiliating things, but if I don't get this, my life is over and I have to have news or I can't eat a sandwich.
Yes, that's a very sad feeling.
It's kind of sad.
Which reoccurs, sadly, even as the years progress and we do.
Yeah, any interest?
Oh, my God. Isn't that awful?
Going any further? Yeah.
Listen, well, Damian, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. This was lovely.
It's been a dream. And thank you for the tip to never go tanning before my first nude scene.
That was a mistake. And I haven't tanned since.
I did the same thing on Scandal. I had to be completely naked. It was my worst nightmare ever, ever, ever. And I waxed and tanned, and you're not supposed to do them in the wrong order. And I did. And so all the follicles of my skin turned a different color. I looked like a creature.
Yeah.
I had to be
good.
body makeup.
We have that in common.
There needs to be some sort of SAG guidelines for what to do and not do for your first nude scene.
We
should the youth know.
Now people know.
Well, I'm glad that we had this public service announcement. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
So much fun.
Yes, you can watch season 1 and season 2 on HBO Max. They're all there for you.
Yeah.
You will laugh your butt off, I promise you.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Damian, so much for joining us. Thank you, Dan, for being here.
Thank you.
In person.
I love it. I love that Damian and I got to be here in person with you, talking about our favorite subject, which is the comeback, seasons 1 and 2.
Yes. And if you're a fan of the show, let us know. Tell us what is your favorite moment. What is your favorite Mark moment? What is a Valerieism that you love?
Or who you think out in the world needs their comeback? That would be a fun one to ask the fans.
It's Bonnie Hunt. Bonnie Hunt needs her comeback. And of course, please follow us on YouTube at the Obsessed channel. Listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. And if you think that I'm entertaining in any way, please subscribe to my Substack at obsessed.substack.com.
Yep.
Thank you to our producers, Devin Rogerino and Rachel Passer. And I think, Dan, you have a tease for us.
I have a tease because next episode of this very special Rewatch podcast of Obsessed will feature Jane, Laura Silverman herself will be here. So I'm so glad we're going to get to talk about season 1 and season 2 with Jane.
And I will refrain from doing this 5,000 times.
She'll love it. She will love it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching and listening, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.